So let him curse, because the Lord has said to him, do what? Curse David. Who then shall say, why have you done so? And David said to Abishai and all his servants, see how my son, who came from my own body, seeks my life. How much more now may this Benjamite? Let him alone, let him curse, for so the Lord has ordered him. It may be that the Lord will look on my affliction, and that the Lord will repay me with good for his cursing this day. As David and his men went along the road, Shimei went along the hillside opposite him and cursed as he went, threw stones at him and kicked up dust. This guy has no job. Now the king and all the people who were with him became weary, so they refreshed themselves there. Meanwhile, Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel was with them. And so it was when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, came to Absalom, that Hushai said to Absalom, long live the king, long live the king. So Absalom said to Hushai, is this your loyalty to your friend? Why did you not go with your friend? And Hushai said to Absalom, no, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, his I will be, and with him I will remain. Furthermore, whom shall I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in your father's presence, so will I be in your presence. Then Absalom said to Ahithophel, give advice as to what we shall do. And Ahithophel said to Absalom, go into your father's concubines, whom he has left to keep the house, and all Israel will hear that you are abhorred by your father. Then the hands of all who are with you will be strong. So they pitched the tent for Absalom on the top of the house, and Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. Verse 23, church.
Now the advice of Ahithophel, which he gave in those days,
was as if one had inquired at the oracle of God. So was all the advice of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. May God bless the reading of his word. Please be seated. Thank you. David's departure from Jerusalem and Absalom's arrival to Jerusalem. David had departed from Jerusalem. We see Absalom now arrive at Jerusalem. 2 Samuel chapter 16. We will see a bunch of unkingly acts, but with David himself in making rash judgment that was unkingly, and Absalom, what he did, raping 10 women, that was totally unkingly. That would eventually, ultimately lead to his demise. He'll be judged. Now, we've seen in the previous chapter, King David's escape from Jerusalem in chapter 15. After he heard the news that Absalom treacherously he turned what was supposed to be a party, so to say. Every time Absalom called a party, something bad happened. The one time he had a party, Amnon was killed. This other time now with his party, it would be to declare himself king in the place of his father, David. And he marched into Jerusalem. And that would not go well. David understood that Absalom was an unforgiving fellow. He needed to leave with his people immediately. So we see David's escape from Jerusalem to save his and his men's lives. He escaped from Jerusalem in order to save his life and the life of his men, as well as to spare the city from possible destruction and attack from Absalom and those who were with him. David was the one who built Jerusalem, made it the eternal capital of the Jews. He was not to allow it to be destroyed. It is not easy for anyone who built a house, knows how hard it is when they bring a bulldozer to demolish it. They will not take it. They will not be a party to destroying it for any reason whatsoever. But it's easy for one who was not there when it was built, did not contribute anything, to destroy it. So Absalom could have destroyed Jerusalem. the beautiful city, because of David, to perpetuate himself in power. And David said, we have to avoid that. And he escaped, he left, you see. Here also we will see some additional info in this chapter. We'll see some additional information on David's ordeal as he fled. He's met by a deceiver with food by the name of Ziba. A deceiver came with food. He was an enemy disguised as a friend. And he even stripped David out to give him everything that belonged to Mephibosheth, without prayer, without proper counseling. Also, David will end up making an error in judgment. As I just mentioned, he will make an error in judgment there. We will see David again attacked by an unhinged Benjamite by the name of Shimei. Unhinged Benjamin will attack him, throwing stones, kicking dust, calling him names, cursing him, asking God's judgment to fall upon him. More importantly, we see Absalom take the center stage, and we'll see his unkingly acts. Number one, he had no personal opinion or plans. He had to depend on another man's counsel. As big as he was, and as handsome as he was, no brains inside the head. The head that carried all that heavy hair, there was no brain inside. So he had to depend on a warped counsel to govern, and it would not go down well. Being vengeful, he surrounded himself with vengeful people like Ahithophel too. Absolutely. He was vengeful and surrounded himself with a vengeful counselor, vengeful counselors like Ahithophel. He had no moral compass. Even when the counsel was given to him, do so and so, he had no moral compass to say, no, this is not right. I am not supposed to do this. I'm going to bring a curse upon myself. He did it. It's not enough to come or to get to power. To come to power, to get to power. But you must know, more than that, you must know what you have to do with the power. What to do with the power. It's one thing to come to power, it's another thing to use the power for good. For the good of the people, for the glory of God ultimately. The ones that are most eager to get to power are the ones who don't understand the responsibility that comes with power. The ones that are most eager to get to power are the ones who fail to understand, who are the least in understanding the responsibility that comes with that power. You see. So Absalom had taken advantage of his father's goodwill, his father's forgiveness, and would later pay for it. So would any child who takes advantage of their parents today. Absalom took advantage of his father's goodwill, his father's forgiveness, and took it lightly and abused it, and will punish his father for being a nice person towards him. Later on, he will pay dearly for it. And so will any child today who takes advantage of their parents. They will pay for it. It's not a curse. It's what a man sows. That's wickedness, and that's evil. And I call to any child here today not to take the magnanimity of your parents for granted. Outline 1 to 4. Ziba's falsehood. 1 to 4 is what? Ziba's falsehood. 5 to 14. Shimei's affront. Affront, insult. 15 to 23, Ahithophel's advice. 15 to 23, Ahithophel's advice. So 1 to 4, Ziba's falsehood. 5 to 14. Shimei's affront. 15 to 23. Ahithophel's advice or counsel, you know. Let's get going. When David was a little past the top of the mountain, we read in chapter 15 that he went through the Mount of Olives, his escape route. And when he was past there, and there he prayed, there he worshipped, there he prayed that the Lord will defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. And right when he was done praying, in chapter 15 tells us, there was an answer to his prayer coming. Hushai, the Archite, his friend. And he realized that this man, being a wise man himself, can be useful in counter counseling against Ahithophel. Please don't go with me. You'll be a burden as an old man who will have to be waiting for you. But you can go back to the city with your gray hair. Surely Absalom will ask you for something, what to do. Whatever Ahithophel counsels, make sure you counter. And so that we might defeat Ahithophel's counsel in those days. Because David understood, because Ahithophel had joined Absalom, he was in big trouble. Did you read the last verse here? Did you pay attention when we read that his counsel in those days was like the oracle of God? It was like that. It's just the will of God. But understand that it was like, but not the oracle of God, not the will of God. Because God will not command the kind of thing that he advised or counseled him, unless he wanted to destroy Absalom and Ahithophel himself. So while he was past the top of the mountain, there was Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth. Do we remember this guy? Yes. The guy that had plenty servants himself and plenty sons, as it were. We read about him in chapter 9. When David sent for him, and he came and then sent through him for Mephibosheth and said, Mephibosheth from now on will be eating at my table, but you, your sons and your servants, go work the field and make sure that Mephibosheth's household has, and that there's enough savings in his account. All the land that belonged to Saul, to Jonathan, I restored to Mephibosheth. But you will be in charge of it to work it for him. Chapter 9 then we read. But we see Ziba here being wicked and cunning. He came and he met the king with saddled donkeys, a couple saddled donkeys. Pay attention to the retinue he brought with him. On them, on these donkeys, were how many loaves of bread? How many loaves of bread? 200 loaves of bread. Every Sunday here, I'm aware that I think 6 loaves or something like that. You know, that is besides the one outside here. I heard this morning that there was moi and something else. Now that you have consumed, stay awake. I did not say you should not consume, but after consuming, pap and moi, a kingly dish. Even all of us, the poor people over here. Stay awake, oh you kingliness. But he brought 200 loaves of bread, 100 clusters of raisins, 100 summer fruits, skin of wine. In those days when they fed, they made sure they had all these things. There would be fruit, there would be all of that, so that the meal would be balanced. The diet would be balanced. So he brought all of that. The king said to him, what do you mean with all these? He said, the donkeys are for the king's household. We see false loyalty here. It's not even for the king. No, the king was walking, and he was walking barefoot. The king could use it, but he said, I'm not worthy to bring anything to the king, but your household and those with you can just manage this one. Such a nice guy. False loyalty. But it was to butter him up in order to gain favor from him with undue advantage. It will get worse than false loyalty. Because Ziba said, continuing on, he said, these are for the king's household to ride on, the bread and the summer fruit for the young men to eat. King, you don't eat this kind of stuff. I'm not worthy to make you meals. And the wine for those who are faint in the wilderness to drink. Then the king says, where's your master's son? Is he aware that you got all of these? Because he's not supposed to have this much wealth at his disposal as a servant. Supposed to come through, it should be, oh, my boss sent me to bring these. So where's your boss? Because you shouldn't have access to all of these. Imagine those guys, that whole Igbo system where somebody serves his oga for 7 years, but the guy who's serving is always bringing, couple millions in a week to come and pay into his own account, not his oga's account. Those days there used to be where you get to a stage, maybe the 5th year, oga can trust you to send you to go pay the money in. Those days when it was cash. But imagine that he's paying into his personal account. It should raise question if somebody's paying attention. So where's your master's son? Where's your boss? Ziba said to the king, that one, he's staying in Jerusalem. He said, today the house of Israel will restore the kingdom of my father to me. He cannot even stand on his feet. How can he withstand Absalom? It is not reasonable. The point that Ziba makes, but David himself too did not put reason to this. He hears this, probably thinks at this point, the whole world is against me. And then as a result, okay, if it's like that, they will play. So be it. You can have everything. Without prayer, without proof, and without processing it, David made judgment. We must be careful to hear both sides of the story before making our judgments. We must be careful, beware that we hear both sides out before making our judgments. Proverbs 18, verse 13, and also verse 17 has a lot to say about these. Verse 17 says that the first one to plead his case seems right. Proverbs 18, verse 17. The first one to plead his case seems right until his neighbor comes and cross-examines him or brings a varied account of what really happened. Have you been in that place before where you heard the story one way, and then when the other person shared their own, it was totally different, far from what was being said? And then did you not say, but they begin to drag feet. Or when they tell you and you say, okay, let's go and meet him, and you say it in their presence, they say, me, I don't want trouble. I don't have any problem. I just wanted you to know. There's something to hide there. We must make sure that we hear about Proverbs 18, verse 17, the first one to plead the cause. Verse 13 before verse 17 says, talks about the one who does not hear the whole side, but makes a judgment. It's foolishness and it's error. So David was in error at this point in time of making judgment without hearing out the whole case, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So we see Ziba here, wicked and cunning, in that he painted another black in order to gain favor. Do you have to do that? To destroy another person's image and reputation in order to get ahead? Lies and image assassination, slander in order to gain favor. God hates all such. And we read in the Proverbs this morning, not only the one who sows discord, but we read about it this morning, something similar, and how that is not supposed to be. May the Lord help us. Amen. Matthew Henry was a Bible teacher back in the days, a very powerful one at that. He has good commentaries I like to consult sometimes. Matthew Henry says the world's smiles are more dangerous than its frowns. When the world smiles at you, it's more dangerous than when it frowns at you. This one will be smiles, kingliness. Shimei will be frowns. This one you will not see readily that is dangerous, and it will trip you up. Shimei on, you can see that that's an enemy. God have mercy on you. But this one you think a friend, but he gets you to partner in his sin. We should not be part or partake in other people's sins. This man tripped David up. May God help us with wisdom and understanding. Amen. Ziba's falsehood. To avoid falsehood. Yes. From verses 5 to 14. Now, when King David came to Bahurim, there was a man from the family of the house of Saul whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. Coming from there, he came out cursing continuously as a king. Sometimes, I'm hearing this at home now too. I said I only signed up to be a parent. I didn't sign up to be a judge. But often, that's what I end up being. Almost every day of the week, I have to judge. Case that I did not bargain for. And then part of what I will hear during the judgment, when they make their case, what happened? They were just insulting me. Insulting you. I'm looking at you, I don't see any insult that is stamped on your body, on your face, on your hand, on your clothes. But they were just insulting me. Often they skip to tell me that they also insulted back. The insulted failed to also tell us that they too were, as they gave them, they gave back, and then it's only when I ask what's going on there, then the case comes to me. For those of you who think they're insulting you, see what insult looks like here. Because when you compare and juxtapose your own insult versus what David got here, you know whether you are really insulting me. Whether that's worth any case at all. This man, nameless man, a nobody, a coward at best. Because all the years David had been king, he did not make his case. If he was a stout man, strong man, he can do something. He should have been able to come out and say something, do something since. But he didn't. He waited until David was on the ground, at the low point in his life, when he has trouble enough. That's when he's now piling on top of that. There are people that like to kick people when they're on the ground. That's cowardice. That's who Shimei was. So cursing continually as he came. And then he threw stones at David and at all the servants of King David. He was cursing the king. He was throwing stones at the king. Someone read for us Exodus 22:28. Exodus 22, verse 28.
You shall not revile God. Shall not revile God,
nor curse the ruler of your people.
nor curse the ruler of your people. It is in the law. If you do that, it's on the same sentence or the same statement on the same offense as reviling God. Because he set up those rulers. Don't curse them. Does that include Tinubu? Is he alive? Begin to confess now.
Begin to confess. Because there is no authority except what God allowed. Nigeria deserves to get this as it were as part of God's punishment. What we should be asking is, Lord, have mercy on us. Turn us back to you. And when we turn back to the Lord, like Israel did, whenever they turned back to the Lord fought their battles. They were at peace. They were above, not beneath. That's the normal stuff. As it were. Let them keep going to their class, their chairs there waiting for them. So you shall not curse the ruler of your people. Shimei had broken down. And he threw stones. These days we have been able to domesticate dogs. And dogs have become pets, part of the family, even some people, even higher than they are here. You know their beautiful names that they are given. But in those days you throw stones at dogs to chase them away. So this man is treating King David as a dog. It's worse than a human being. It's lower than a human being. That's what you would do to dogs, throw stones to chase them. Get them. And I know some of you have done that to those stray dogs. That's what insult looks like. Cursing him, what should be done to a ruler of the people, and throwing stones at him, treating him like a dog. He threw stones at David and at all his servants, and then all the people and all the mighty men who were on the right hand, all the mighty men were on the right hand and on the left. So he's piling on David. He's glad to see David suffer. But then the people, thankfully, who were around David, they formed body shield or human shield around David on his right and on his left, so that those stones that this man is hurling will be on them rather than on the king. They wouldn't stand watching the king be hurt. Verse 7, also Shimei said thus when he cursed, come out, you bloodthirsty man, you rogue. The word rogue is the same word that is translated in other places, son of Belial. That is the worst kind of insult or cursing you can give to anybody. Worthless man, useless. You know, you can add any other adjectives. You know, that does not sound good to them. Bloodthirsty man, you rogue. He called King David. Come out. The Lord has brought upon you all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose place you have reigned. Which blood of the house of Saul is this man talking about? This man is not updated with news. The kind of news he has is outdated. How did David wrong Saul? If anything, David was overly nice to the house of Saul, something that the house of Saul did not deserve. He has spared Saul's life once and again. And as spared, normally when kings took over from their enemy family, so to say, he wiped out the rest. He actually spared. He had Mephibosheth eating at his table up to this point. How did he mistreat the house of Saul? Every time Saul mistreated him, he behaved more wisely. He had no hand in the death of Saul. He mourned for Saul when Saul died. He mourned for Jonathan. He mourned even for Ishbosheth and Abner, all of those from the same household. And he punished people for getting involved, meddling in God's judgment. This is totally false accusation. But how often at our lowest point Satan brings that? Calling him a rogue, meaning calling him a worthless man. Child of God, you must understand this before you begin to fight back and defend yourself. Defend your innocence. Understand that innocence is no defense against malice and falsehood. Innocence is not a defense against malice, against bitterness, against hatred, and against falsehood. The fact that you're innocent, they don't want to know. They just want to smear you. They get joy and pleasure. The enemy derives, the accuser of the brethren derives joy in that. The Lord has delivered the kingdom into the hand of your son. Now you are caught in your own evil because you're a bloodthirsty man. See your life. Was it the Lord who is inducing Absalom to do what he's doing? To usurp power? No. It was his own ambition. Yes, in a sense, there will be the punishing of David and fulfillment of what God said will happen to David. But God did not say Absalom would do these things. God did not send Absalom out. If not, otherwise Absalom will be exempted from God's judgment. Otherwise he will be God's servant. But he was not. If anyone is bloodthirsty, it will be Absalom. If anyone is power hungry, it will be Absalom. David was not even power hungry. He delayed. He inquired of the Lord before he even returned to the land of Israel. He had fled because of Saul's high-handedness. Then Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, you know this guy? The one who, remember when he was a witness when David spared the life of Saul. He was the one who said to David at that time in the cave, just allow me one strike and I'll take off the head of Saul. Do you remember? And David said, don't dare you touch the Lord's anointed. How would you do that and not be good? So Abishai, the brother of Joab, said to the king, why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Why my life? I can't bear this. Please let me go over and take off his head. Talking about a bloodthirsty man, Abishai could feed that belly, but at least he was polite about it. He was polite about being bloodthirsty. Please let me go and cut off his head. And he said, let me go and cut off his head, but please let me gently just cut off his head. Now, if David gave him permission to go, would he not prove Shimei's point? You are a bloodthirsty man. You're a bloody man. You kill people for fun. If he said, go get his head, that has just proven his point that indeed you are bloodthirsty. David will not fall for it. Not every opportunity is from the Lord. That opportunity that your servant Abishai says, don't worry, David, you don't have to do, I will handle this one myself. Just tell me to go. Not every opportunity is from the Lord. Know that. No peace. Be careful of the counsel of those near you who care. Out of their care for you, they give you counsel, but that counsel is not of the Lord. That counsel is not of the Lord. David, as a shepherd of Israel, did not intentionally, except for the case of Uriah. And you know how it went with him. And the Lord will charge him for that. But apart from that, David was not in the business of killing anyone. No one will go into exile because of David. This is how you judge a good king and one who's not. Because during their reign, the one who cares about people can go in exile. People can insult them and get away with I think of the regime of President Jonathan. That's one regime I remember in the country that nobody went into exile because Jonathan was after them. Nobody was saying that they were intimidated by the DSS or because of the insult. They called them Dumbo, they called them all kinds of names. Clueless. Until clueless is about right. And now we don't know the adjective to use. That he took it and peacefully so. And ever since we barely hear from the man. Retired peacefully. Not meddling, not in his states, not anywhere. I'm not preaching about President Jonathan. But we need to be very careful about the people around us giving us advice out of their care and concern. And then you need to do like this, you need to be like this. Be careful. Because it might not be God's will for us. But King David said, contrary to Abishai's plea, what have I to do with you, sons of Zeruiah? I think of two brothers again. This is Joab. You know, he killed Abner and want to kill Shimei now, another Benjamite. He said, you sons of Zeruiah, you're too much trouble for me. I think of the son of David too, who had two brothers as well, who were troublesome. I wonder if they were close or related somehow though. Somehow they were related. As these guys, these two brothers were related to David, those were related to him also because their mother was also a relative. Was an aunt. So they say to Jesus. Salome was her name. James and John, sons of Zebedee, sons of thunder. Sons of thunder. Jesus said, you guys, you're a pain. You don't understand stuff. So let him curse, because the Lord has said to him, curse David. It's the Lord that allowed him, gave him mouth, gave him microphone, gave him online. Go and call me names. Go ahead. David saw the hand of God in what was going on and took comfort in that. When you are snared, when you're falsely accused, do you see God in it? Or you feel the urge to fight for yourself, defend yourself? But Jesus showed us an example like a sheep before the shearer. He did not open his mouth. His defense continues to be made today by all who believe in him, and many who have, countless people who have laid down their lives for belief in him. Who then shall say, why have you done so? Who would tell him don't curse? God had told him not to curse. Why would you, human being, tell him not to? Do you see how patient David was under abuse? We are told we learn to bless and not curse. Again, I was sharing the other time. Those who say, this thing that happened to this person, the people that did it to this person will never know peace. They will never know peace. That is not a prayer. That is not a godly prayer. That is not in line with Christ's will and his standard. It's not. So very careful, please. David was so patient under abuse. Would to God that he was also this patient when Ziba came, and that had been rash to pass judgment and say, okay, Ziba, you can have everything. To the one he considered a friend, he was deceived and conned. And David said to Abishai and all his servants, not just to Abishai, Abishai was speaking the mind of many. There were many who would have volunteered to go and take this guy out and shut up his dirty mouth and stop him from throwing stones at them. By the way, they were taking the stones while they shielded the king. He said to them, you guys, just imagine the scenario. See how my son, the one who came from my own body, seeks my life. How much more? Now may this Benjamin, let him alone and let him curse. He's only throwing stones. My son would have killed me. Don't you see how much trouble I'm going through for my own son, my own family? Is it this person from another tribe that I worry about? Let him alone. Let him curse. For so the Lord has ordered him. It may be that the Lord will look on my affliction and that the Lord will repay me with good for his cursing this day. Remember, when your enemy is down, help him. Lest it displeases the Lord, and then the Lord will help them, since you refuse to help him. David said here, let him continue to hate. Maybe his hate will turn around to God's help for me. And whose help would you prefer? Whose witness and testimony would you prefer? That one you defend yourself, that people are already carried and went, or the one that the Lord will defend you? Let's learn to keep mute. You say, hey, but the thing tough. Yes. There's no disagreeing with it. But it was not tougher than what Jesus went through and what David went through. It may be that the Lord will look at my affliction and the Lord will repay me with good for his cursing this day. So a total surrender here to God's will, David. And as David and his men went along the road, Shimei went along the hillside opposite him and cursed as he went. He went opposite on the other side of the ridge, leaving enough gap, coward, leaving enough gap so that if they just say who, he will take off from there and run away. I don't know if anybody grew up in a village where children used to do that kind of thing. There's this village next to our village. The people are troublesome people. They are known, professional trouble. When you are passing there, children will they'll find a name for you. No matter who you are, they'll find some new name for you. And they can do it every day. It's like a normal trade there in those days. But by the time you try to catch any of them, come and see adults that will come out and deal with you. So this guy has no job. As David and his men went along the road, Shimei went along the hillside opposite him and cursed as he went, threw stones at him, kicked up dust. Bloodthirsty man, useless man, worthless king. Does this man have children? What will his children be doing? He's kicking up dust, throwing stones, calling names. What was he like when he was younger? This is an old man, an older man, if you will. Now later on, when David will return to his throne, this man will come. Say king. That day I don't know what they happen. I beg you. I am only a dead dog, you know, as a dog. No, now he turns around and says I'm a dog. But he was throwing stones, which was what they did to dogs. David will say, no problem, just go to your house. That's no problem. I've forgiven you. But when David will be dying, he will call Solomon. Say, son, come. If you want to be established in your kingdom, there are people you need to be aware of. Shimei was one of them. He warned them. Solomon called Shimei and said, come. Say, yes, sir. I'm here. I've been a good boy since. Say, but there was one time you were a bad boy. You see, from today, Shimei, any day you leave Jerusalem, the rest of your life, you will live your life, L-I-V-E, in Jerusalem. Any day you leave, L-E-A-V-E, Jerusalem, that day you have sentenced yourself to death. Jerusalem is the big city. Stay here. Everything you did, right here. If you ever leave Jerusalem, you're dead. He said, I like that. I've traveled outside since then. Stay here. He had no idea. 2 years passed. And then 2 of his servants escaped and left Jerusalem. Wait. King has many things that he's doing now. Is it me that he's watching? And then he went to go and look for his servants that ran away. Found them, brought them back to Jerusalem, came back, sat down as if he went nowhere. But the king has eyes everywhere. They sent for him and said, Shimei. Yes, sir. Did you go anywhere? I didn't go so far. Just Suleja. No, say Suleja and I just said. Only Suleja. Maraba. No, say Maraba. And Nasarawa said. Don't come out Abuja. Say Shimei. What did I tell you the other day? Hey, Oga. I beg, have mercy. David didn't have to kill him. My mouth killed him. His mouth killed him. And Solomon, there's a lesson to learn there. Keep your lips. Keep them from speaking God. James says, you see that small member, the tongue. Very tiny, but it can set a city on fire. Can destroy a whole posterity, future of a person, future of others. May God teach us to tame our tongues. No matter what you feel, you know we never regret what we never said. Maybe in the case where you should have told someone, I forgive you, I love you, in that case. But the things you never say, when you are angry, keep your mouth. Don't let the abundance of the heart speak. Ordinarily, I will show you, and someone else will show them, and it's you. So many people have entered into trouble for what they know nothing about, just because of something like, I will show you. It's me, eh? Okay, you will see. Something happens, and then watch your lips. Show proper respect to authorities too. When I come here too, thinking of Nigeria, there are many things I want to say. But I watch my lips. It's a wise thing to do. I still have some work to do. Not that I'm afraid or I'm not ready for heaven, no. But I gotta ask myself, is that what the Lord called me to do? Is that why I'm here? And is that what the Lord wants the people to hear today? Because you already have enough to discourage you about the situation of the country. We can make references to how things are, as we're studying. And we continue to study God's word. That's who we need to hear from, not man, not my feelings about Nigeria or the leaders. No. Verses 15 to 23 now. Absalom finally arrives in Jerusalem. It took time, but he's arrived. Meanwhile, Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel was with him. And so it was when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, came to Absalom that Hushai said to Absalom, "Long live the king, long live the king." He said to Absalom, "Long live the king, long live the king." He was saying it. It doesn't mean necessarily that Absalom is the king or that he acknowledges him as such. But then Absalom, this is the kind of thing he would like to hear. Those who are eager, we talked about before, the ones that are most eager to get to power are the ones who don't understand the responsibility that comes with it. The ones that are eager to get to power, they don't understand. They are the least people that understand the responsibility that comes with power. All he wanted is to hear, "Long live the king, long live the king." Since that's what he wants to hear, tell her now. And Hushai is here to work as a spy, a double agent. Not even a double agent. He's serving David, but in another capacity. He will be serving David in a different role, a different capacity. He doesn't have to stay with his friend to serve him now. Stay with the enemy, so to say, of his friend in order to serve his friend. His loyalty is to David because that's the Lord's choice. He will say it. Later on. So Absalom said to Hushai, he's shocked, surprised. "Is this your loyalty to your friend? Huh? BFF. I don't expect to see you of all people. Are you not supposed to be showing this loyalty, this whole long live the king to your friend? Why did you not go with your friend?" He knew him. Meaning that we cannot also successfully fit in the enemy's camp. The enemy knows us. You can't fit in properly. And if you had to be there, let it be for the glory of the king, the true king. Hushai said to Absalom, Haba. No, by whom the Lord and these people, you see, he is not lying. He's being diplomatic with the truth. He didn't lie. He didn't say, "My loyalty is for you, towards you." He said, "Whom the Lord and these people and all the men of Israel choose, his I will be, and with him I will remain." So I am here. Whoever the people choose. At the end, there's this tussle between the two. The one that wins. But ultimately, whom God chooses. Let's see now. Absalom cannot dictate. His ego. Remember that we read in chapter 15 that his camp continued to swell while David's camp continued to grow leaner and leaner. So he is happy that more people are defecting to him. But have you seen where defection is to bring down the party? Have you known it happen for politics? Where they decamp to your party. Yes, to know all the secrets so that you can tear it and destroy it. You have not seen. Go and ask opposition parties in Nigeria. If you have never seen. Find out how they can be infiltrated from the inside and destroyed from the inside. As we mentioned, still serving David, but in a new role. Furthermore, whom shall I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son, as I have served in your father's presence? So will I be in your presence? I'm here. He said, available. Guy is not to know anything. But these were all the ways that the Lord was putting together to bring him down. Then Absalom said to Ahithophel, he ignored Hushai. You just came down. Ahithophel has been with me since. Give advice as to what we should do. Remember the saying that he was eager to get to power, but did not understand the responsibility that came with it. He had a head that had long hair, heavy hair, but no brain to govern inside that head. Coconut head. The only thing he had going for him was his fine look. Fine boy. Look at it. He has power, but no idea what to do with it. How many times we've seen people like that? Let me, people's choice. My turn. And then they reach there, don't know what to do. Read our budgets now. Voila. You know there are some states that their governors are like that. Let me take that again. Keep taking it again and again. You never hit it. Who wrote it? And who do us this kind of thing? I just say that there are some states that are like that. In some countries like that. Now listen. You recall that David has sent back the ark of God. It's not my property. It should go back. People used to come and seek the face of God through the ark. Absalom had a representation of the face of God, but he sought human counsel. He had the ark of God. He could have sought if he wanted, but he was not interested in spiritual things. He was not interested in the things of God. He cared nothing about this. So Ahithophel, tell us what to do. Ahithophel said to Absalom, I'm glad you asked. Ahithophel had been looking for opportunity to work against David since David last time abused his granddaughter, Bathsheba. Bathsheba was Ahithophel's granddaughter. So it was his payback time, he thought. He was seeking heavy revenge on David. So how best can I be? Go into your father's concubines, whom he has left to keep the house, and all Israel will hear that you are abhorred by your father. Because people are still wondering now, because whether you have what it takes to rule like your father. But I want you to do this. When you go in, the people will know that there is no going back. It's sealed. That you are determined. Because tomorrow now you might decide to have peace with your father. But if you do this one, there will be no peacemaking again. It's a point of no return. And the foolish guy will take the bait. It was a setup. Remember that Ahithophel's counsel were like the oracle of God. Not the oracle of God, but like the oracle of God. And it was God's purpose to destroy Absalom. He needed to be destroyed. Otherwise, Solomon would never survive. And Israel would never be established as they became. So disgrace your father, dishonor your father. That's what I want you to do now. That's the advice. Empty head. So they pitched the tent for empty head on the top of the house. We'll call him Hairdo. They pitched tent for Mr. Hairdo on the top of the house, and Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. Death sentence on himself. Both of them had anger issues and bitterness towards David, Ahithophel, and Absalom. But they ended up becoming 10 times worse what David did. Because to advise anyone to murder someone is the same as being a murderer. And if such is the case, to advise someone to commit such whoredom was one and the same as committing it. You are angry that he did this to your granddaughter, but then you advise that another will do 10 times against him. That is worse. You are claiming moral high ground while you descend so low, 10 times lower. Both Absalom and Ahithophel, they condemned themselves. At the end of his life, Ahithophel would die in infamy. He committed suicide. He took his own life. This man should have gone down in the history of Israel as one of the greatest Israelites that ever lived. It would have been when you call the great prophets and call the great kings, you call the great man Ahithophel, whose counsel was at some point as the will of God. It would have been a man that people go for counseling at all times. Even the king needed his counsel. But bitterness and unforgiveness destroyed him, ate him up from the inside, and he ended up taking his own life. The book of Hebrews and the writer of Hebrews will warn us to beware of the root of bitterness, because it destroys. The root of bitterness. You know, you can cut down a tree and the root is still there. And the next season, before you know it buds again and it's growing because of the root. In other words, deal with the root. They used to say in English, root cause. You see the fruit outside, it's from the root. The root cause of the problem. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. You know the heart you can't see outwardly. Keep it. Out of it spring the issues of life. It's amazing stuff that people are doing now. I read about a baby who they operated on a baby in the womb, the heart of a baby in the womb. And that baby was just born recently. And they put the baby back there, and the baby stayed for several months again and matured. It's like a 4-month-old in the womb, or 5 months. They operated on the heart. They opened the mother, brought the baby, operated on the heart, put back, and the baby continued to grow and was now born. So the doctor who did it and the mother with the baby took a picture. I saw that this week, and they were reporting, the news was reporting. Amazing inventions. The heart that cannot be seen, they can go there and work on it. But you see, when it comes to the issue of sin, there is only one who can work on our hearts, and that's God. He's the heart doctor. Maybe you have been so hurt, so embittered by what someone did to you. Learn to let go before it destroys you. The root of bitterness. Because you will end up a worse sinner than the person who hurt you if time is not taken. This is the word of the Lord. A man who should have ended his life a great man, he ended up infamous, dying by suicide. What a way to go. What a dishonorable way to be discharged from duty. What a better way to exit life here on earth. But then Absalom did this in the sight of all men, just as the Lord said earlier on. You did this in the secret, but this will be done in the sight of all Israel. God's word does not return to him void. Ahithophel, he lost his chance to cement his place in the history as one of Israel's great. He became a wasted gift because of unforgiveness and bitterness. God has gifted you. Don't become a wasted gift through bitterness and unforgiveness. He will give another counsel in chapter 17. We're not going there today, but just make mention of it. Let me just read a little bit so that you see. Ahithophel said to Absalom, so after he has finished his duty there on the rooftop, now let me choose 12,000 men and I will arise and pursue David tonight. How many men? David went out with how many? 600 men, minus one even. Uriah is there. And his family. But 12,000 to go after them. If you do the math here, you see. What the ratio will be. This speaks about David's prowess as a military man. That with only 600 men, they needed 12,000 to fight them. Ahithophel, the wise man, knew enough, the smart guy, knew enough to know that David is no pushover in battle. And that will show in the fight that will ensue. And David's men will overcome the men that came after them. The advice he gave there, let's go after David immediately, because by now, after escaping, they are tired, they won't be ready to fight. But let's catch up with them and deal with them. But that's when the mole planted Hushai. God will use him to destroy, cancel out the counsel of Ahithophel. Father, help us not to end up like Ahithophel, or not to act like Absalom. Give us the patience you gave David here to endure the assault and attack from Shimei. Help us to be wiser when people come like Ziba with lies and deceit, camouflage. Help us also, Lord, to acknowledge, to understand, to see through it, the facade, so we might not join in other people's sin. Help us not to be like Abishai, not reading God's purpose in what is going on. But with every situation, may we look at it from your own lens and gain clarity. Bless your word that we have heard. And like we mentioned earlier, may your word not return to you void, but may it accomplish the purpose for which you have sent it. May we recognize the world's smile that is dangerous, more dangerous than their frown. May we live for you all our days. Even when we are fallen, Lord, with the consequences, may we still stay with you, because that's where grace is. Where grace is, that's where you are found. Thank you for your amazing grace that has saved wretched people like us. Once lost but now found, blind can now see. As we worship, Lord, I pray you be enthroned in our praises. In Jesus' name. All God's people say.
power to raise the dead? And who can save us from our sin? He is our hope, our righteousness. Jesus, only Jesus. And who can make the blind to see? Who was the key that set us free? He paid it all to bring us peace. Jesus, only Jesus, holy King Almighty, Lord, saints and angels all adore. I join with them and bow before Jesus, only Jesus. Who can command the highest praise? And who has the name above all name? Oh, you stand alone, and I stand amazed. Your name is Jesus, only Jesus, holy King Almighty, Lord, saints and angels all adore. I join with them and bow before Jesus, holy Jesus, holy King Almighty, Lord, saints and angels all adore. I join with them and bow before Jesus, holy Jesus. You will command the highest praise. Yours is the name above all names. You stand alone, and I stand amazed. Jesus, only Jesus. You will command the highest praise. Yours is the name above all names. You stand alone, and I stand amazed. Jesus, only Jesus, holy King Almighty, Lord, saints and angels all adore. I join with them and bow before Jesus, only Jesus, holy King Almighty, Lord, saints and angels all adore. I join with them and bow before Jesus, only Jesus. You don't need a savior if you don't know sin and shame. You don't need forgiveness if you've never walked away. And this is my story. I'm a life made new. I'm the one who's been set free. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Is everything to me. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Yes, He is my everything. And I have a shepherd who escapes me. And I found a
Yes, I do.
who knows my everything. And this is my story of redeeming love. I have come to know Him. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Is everything. to me. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Yes, He is my everything. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Yes, everything I need. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Yes, He is my everything. He walks with me. He talks with me. He tells me I am His own. The joy we share, what else compares life? He walks with me. He talks with me. He tells me I am His own. The joy we share, what else compares like nothing I've ever known. Oh, He walks with me. He talks with me. He tells me I am His own. And the joy we share, what else compares nothing I've ever known. And I can't believe it. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. He is everything to me. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Yes, He is my everything. That I have found a friend in Jesus. He is everything to me. Oh, I have found a friend in Jesus. Yes, He is my everything. And in Christ alone, my hope is found. He is my life, my strength, my song, and His cornerstone, the solid ground. From to the fields is round and so. Oh, I don't know what this will be. When fears are still, my striving is mine. You are my all in all. Here in the love of Christ I stand. And in Christ alone, who took on flesh, fullness of God in helpless way. Oh, this gift of love in righteousness, scorned by the ones He came to save. Till on that cross, as Jesus died, the light of God was satisfied. For every sin on Jesus was laid. Here in the death of Christ I live. And there in the ground His body lay, the light of the world by darkness lay. Then bursting forth in glorious day, oh, from the grave He rose again. And as He stays in victory, His curse has lost His grip on me. For I am His, and Jesus is mine, bought with the precious blood of Christ. And no guilt in life, no fear in death. This is the power of Christ in me. And from life first Christ to my final breath, Jesus commands my destiny. The power of hell, no scheme of He can never run away from His own. I see calls me on. Here in the power of Christ, see no power of man, no scheme of man can ever pluck me from his hand until he returns. Or calls me on. Here in the power of Christ I stand until he returns, or he calls me home. Here in the power of Christ I stand until he returns, or he calls me home. Here in the power of Christ I stand. I spoke a word, but you were singing over me. Oh, you've been so good. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You've been so kind to me. Sing before I spoke a word. You were singing over me. You've been so good, Lord. You've been so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You've been so kind to me. Oh, and all the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God, and all He chases me down, fights till I'm found, lives the 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you gave yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. And you've been so good to me. When I felt no one, Lord, you paid it all for me. And you've been so kind to me. And all the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. And oh, He chases me down, fights till I'm found, lives the 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. And all the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't sit down, coming after me. Oh, no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall, there's no wall. No wall you won't kick down, oh, lie you won't sit down, coming after me. No shadow, no shadow. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't sit down. Oh, you're coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't sit down, coming after me. You know the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, no, it chases me down. I'm found days and nights and nights. Oh, I could have earned it, I don't deserve it. Oh, still you gave yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God, yeah. Yes, he's jealous of me and loves like a hurricane. I am a tree, I'm bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I'm unaware of these afflictions, eclipse my glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Thou sing, oh, how he loves us so. Oh, how he loves us, how he loves us so. We are his portion, yes, he's our prize. We are drawn to redemption by the grace in his eyes. If grace is an ocean, we're all sinking. Oh, heaven, so heaven makes it like an unforsaken. In my heart, goes violently inside of my chest, and I don't have time to maintain my regret when I think about the way that he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Oh, he loves, yes, he loves, yes, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, see. no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, is no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. Oh,